So in today's video we're going to be restoring this locomotive. This is another one of the locomotives that Mark from M&M Rails wanted me to restore. I have no clue what's wrong with it, it just didn't start, so I'm going to presume it has some kind of electrical issue, but who knows, these old Ringfield type motor locomotives, they can have the strangest problems. Let's test it. Okay, we've got her on the track. Let's try applying power. And right off the bat, look what we see. That is the sign of a short. So, I guess there's a short somewhere in this locomotive that we need to resolve. So to begin, we're just going to take off the top. I'm going to guess there's some bad wiring in here. Okay. A lot of wires. I think we've just discovered the source of our short, folks. You see right there, sometimes over time these screws can get loose, and they both allow power to get to the brushes of the motor, and this one has pushed up against this wire which connects to the other brush. So if we pull this up away from the other wire, in theory it should run. Looks like we've got a headlight too. May or may not be burnt out, I can't tell, it's kind of dirty. It also would appear that somebody clipped the wire. These two wires go down to the wipers. Okay, this wire is disconnected too, so clearly we've got a lot of loose wires that need to be resolved. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. Put her back on the track. I just wanted to see if pulling up that little tab would stop the electrical short. And it's still shorting, so evidently somewhere else there's still more bad wiring. I guess this locomotive had more than one short inside of it. So now I think I've come up with a theory of why this thing is shorting. You see, you've got a black wire that comes up here, goes to this tab, and then there are actually wipers on both trucks. That's different in comparison to lifelike locomotives, which only feed from the front trucks. These older Bachmanns feed from both. So there's always a chance that one of these wires came undone and somebody mis-soldered them, and this black wire feeds down to this side, but there's no guaranteeing that the black wire feeds down to the same side. So we're going to open this up and try to follow that black wire, see if it goes to the right truck. The black wire is going to this side, the red wire's on this side, and the black wire's on this side, and the red wire's on this side. So they are backwards, so that's probably why this is shorting. So all I need to do now is unsolder those wires, try resoldering them, and hopefully our electrical problems will vanish. Unless, of course, what happened is maybe at some point somebody opened this up, and when they opened it up, maybe they put these back the wrong way, which I think is the likely scenario. So I guess we don't need to unsolder anything, we just need to put these back. And I should probably open this up anyways, because these things tend to be full of dust and dirt and stuff you don't want in your locomotive. So let's open her up. So we're now just going to open this up by pulling off this little tab here. Undo that screw. This comes out. Okay, we're now in. Now let's take these tabs off. Being very mindful not to lose those springs. We're going to undo the screw there. And we'll put the red wiper on this side, which is the same side that the other one is on. Okay, so we've got those on the right sides now. The other thing that's very possible is, it could be just because the truck maybe it goes in the other way, but yeah, I'm just not sure. That's how I got it out, so I'm just going to put it back the way it came. We need to put these gears in first. One thing, these gears are usually the ones that crack because they didn't adjust these. Basically the gears are held on by pressure, and over time they tend to crack. This particular engine doesn't appear to have any cracked gears though, so hopefully it won't have any weird clicking noises. It'll also increase the value of it. And now we just put in the final two wheels. it's all back together. Now, for lubricating this thing, I didn't remove 100% of the lubricant because it didn't appear to be bad. It's still in a liquid form, but I did remove it around here, so we're just gonna add just a bit of residue to each wheel there. And yeah, now we just pop the truck back on, and we can begin to reassemble our locomotive. One thing I sometimes forget, there's a little tab, and that just prevents this from kind of turning ways it's not supposed to, so just make sure you get that in before tightening this down. And there's the locomotive reassembled. Now, I'm just going to do a quick test to make sure it's all working right, and then we'll try to fix the problem with the light. I've got her on the track, and oh, I swear I moved it a little bit there. Okay, well, it looks like we're gonna have to give up and give in to using Hollywood magic. In all seriousness, I really had no clue what was going on with this thing. The motor started to turn, but it sounded like it was doing a constant burnout. So then I started thinking, I wonder if the front truck's okay. These wheels are ridiculously stiff. These things should be pretty much freewheeling, and the front one in particular is very tight, so I think the wipers may be sprung back a little bit more than they should be, and it's creating resistance to the extent which the motor is actually not gaining much traction. It also would appear that this locomotive at some point did have a couple traction tires, or at least one traction tire, and that is evidently gone now, so that's not helping the situation in any way, shape, or form. I'm also going to check to make sure these are fitting as well as they should be. This one does have a cracked nylon. They both have cracked nylon, I'm not sure if you can see, but they have cracked nylon connectors there, which may be contributing to the issue as well. I also will add a little bit of lubricant just to help them out. Barely any, they don't need much. And I'll put this back on, and hopefully, yeah, it's a little bit better. Well, it sounds like the locomotive's motor is doing a similar RPM as to what speed it's going, so I guess we got that problem solved. Now I just need to rewire this light, and it should be a decent engine. I do find it interesting, though. It sounds like it's making a cracking noise. I'm not sure if just running it for a few seconds after not being run for so long might have cracked one of the gears, or if the gears are just worn down and slipping. Now, first of all, we've got this wire that goes down to the truck. This wire is evidently not connected. Which means this thing isn't even receiving full electrical connectivity, so we're going to tint the lead here. Get a little more solder. There we go. Gotta be a bit particular here that we get the right tab. And there we go. I'm gonna suspect somebody disconnected this light intentionally, probably because Sometimes when a locomotive gets older, the motor requires a little bit more power, and disconnecting the light can give it, a 1.6 volts or whatever more, which can make a noticeable difference, although in my opinion you're kind of chasing after the wrong problem, which is that there's dust and hair and stuff, which is preventing the motor from performing the way it should be. Okay, here we go. Well, that light evidently still works. Okay, we've got the shell back on. Now let's see how fast this thing can actually go. Well, fair enough. Well, folks, that's it for today's video. To be completely honest, this thing was a lot more work to get working than I'd initially expected, but at the end of the day, we got the thing working, so I'm a happy camper. And yeah, one more locomotive. Completely done.